Two unemployed actors. Two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. This week we've got so much for you. Lots to update. Nikki Barrett had the Q&A through the MEAA and some interesting tips and tricks from a successful casting director. We're going to have a chat about accents. We're going to update you on Bob. What do you got? You got anything exciting for us, Sam?
I do.
Say yes.
Actually, straight after this, I'm doing a law student promo video for UNSW.
Okay, so you've got to look all studious and stuff.
Yeah, well,
that's a stretch.
I've got to. This today is just like at the beach and kind of showing
where all law students hang out.
Well, that apparently law students can, they can do a bunch of things. They're normal people.
They're selling the lifestyle of being a law student.
Exactly.
Because showing you sort of in the corner of some law firm, weighed in under, tons of court documents is probably, too close to reality. And it's not really selling the dream, is it?
No, they wanted to show that, exactly. They do normal things. So I got to take my guitar and
they do normal things.
Yeah. Well,
they've got so much time as a law student.
It is a bit of a stretch, but
you can go to the beach, play the guitar. It's
I've got
the
a guitar,
lifestyle.
Running, got my headphones in.
Good.
They want me to do
a bunch of things. Studying at all?
I think then in a couple of weeks they want to shoot somewhere in the city and they asked me if I had a suit, so I get to wear that and do stuff like that.
Maybe
so
it's the big, experience at a law firm moment.
Mm-hmm. But I get paid.
If they put you in a corner office and start shooting, it's like that is so far from reality when it comes to being a law student. You're like in the basement.
Yeah, you're doing all the letters, you're bringing it on.
I did work experience. We had a school tour. Of a legal firm where there was a whole lot of old boys who used to go to school, work there. Corner offices, of course. But, of course, being me, I'm having a chat to all the guys in the mosh pit. How long does it take you to get a corner office sort of thing, Because they were massive, beautiful views over Melbourne. It was lovely. And they're in these tiny little desks, like little pigeon hens, like telemarketers or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't even ask, like, the amount of hours it takes a week to, get to that.
I don't know if I'm going to actually be in an office, probably just in the street somewhere walking around or something.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
It's the action shots.
Yeah.
B-roll.
It's like a from below shot kind of face and then the sunset comes in, or the sun comes in. And
very arty.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest it.
Sounds beautiful. Oh, you're going to see how that's right. Suddenly it turns into this huge dramatic piece,
that would be awesome.
We see a whole range in this walk through the city.
But they've got 4 different actors.
It's like, no, Sam, put the guitar away. We've done that.
I'm going to whip it out. And
Law students are busking in Pitt Street.
Exactly. I applied for it and I wanted to make sure, I stupidly asked, I wanted to make sure that you didn't actually have to be a law student to be in this video. Because they didn't actually make it clear. They were like, this is a law student promo.
We need a law student.
Well, I asked and they're like, no, it's okay. You can be an actor. I'm like, oh, perfect. I don't go to uni and I'm not a law student. This is perfect.
Fit right in.
Yeah. So
but as we know, it's all perception.
Yeah. And they've got 4 actors for that. I'm playing one of the students and they're just shooting different times. I get paid for it. So that's good.
It's good. Yeah. Paid acting work. Thumbs up.
Rare.
I had this moment last week where I'm super busy and it was like midweek and I'm like super busy and I'm like, hang on a minute. Podcast is great. Bit of work on the back end and voiceover work heaps. Lots of auditions. A big job. Had to get under the pump to get that one out in time. And then there was some pickups to do, which is normal. And I just sat back and thought, I'm really super busy, but I'm busy in all the things I wanted to do to complement acting rather than be busy acting.
Yeah.
And I know it's only been a few weeks, but I sort of miss being on set again. So I thought, you know what? Hang on, reality check. I need to focus on and it's all fun. It's all great stuff. But I just need to stop myself and go, okay, what are we actually doing when it comes to acting? I went on to Star Now, which I find is great in Australia for looking for paid and free work like student films and connecting that way. Put my hand up for a couple of short films. So I ended up doing a self-tape on Friday, which was hard because Freddie was here, Freddie the Dash Hound, who wanted to be a part of anything that... Look, he just wants to be the centre of attention, like any actor, but there's only room for one.
Yes.
So whenever Emma was reading, of course, thanks, Emma, you're great. holding the script in one hand, having to turn pages while holding the dash hand in the other to stop him barking. So it was amazing. My eye line was somewhere else, I could tell you, because it's like, that was creepy.
You'd be out of character like, oh my God.
It took a few goes to get one that I was happy with, where I wasn't upstaged by a dog barking.
Yeah.
But we got there. And then I've got an audition this afternoon for another with SAE. Now, did you have... You mentioned that recently, didn't you?
Yeah,
you went for an audition there.
Yeah. Jess actually has an audition with SAE tomorrow, I think it is. Tomorrow, yeah. But I've done a few auditions with them before. Have you not done...
Not with them, no.
No, yeah. So what short film is it? What is it called? Do you remember?
Yes. It's funny you should ask. I've got the script right here. Yeah, look, it's student film, and the script's not too bad. Look, I've got a page and a half.
Can I read it?
But basically, the guy is a bit of an asshole, and he's sort of almost a narcissist, controlling type. You can see him sort of making jabs at his wife in a sort of jokey way, but really he's putting her down to make himself feel better.
Okay.
So you can really take that in so many different directions.
Oh, yeah.
So, yep, being the actor that I am, I've layered him up, rehearsed in a few different ways, and ready to go this afternoon. So we'll see what happens, because you haven't auditioned with him before.
Yeah. I did a self-tape yesterday with my brother, just get it out of the way. It was for a feature film, an independent feature film.
You didn't have a dog barking in the middle of it all?
No. I mean, I do have a dog, Bella. She's awesome. but she's
quiet.
so calm. She's awesome. She's the best dog.
Great. I'll tell Fred.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I live with my parents, so in a bigger house than like an apartment.
I forget
so
you're still 12.
Yeah.
But, and the reason we can't hear Fred at the moment...
I forget you're 80, so it's good. We're even.
I'll just edit that bit out. The reason that we can't hear Fred now is he's at doggy daycare. He goes to daycare with his friends on a Tuesday, so that we can actually talk without him barking over the top of us.
I did the self-tape yesterday, and it's funny you say, like, you did a few to get the right one. And obviously I do a few too. Everyone probably does several takes of their self-tape. I ended up picking the first one that I did.
That's cool.
It was the most natural.
That happens.
You don't overthink it. You know what I mean?
And you're not really under a lot of pressure. It's sort of it is natural, because you're sort of a bit more chill, because look, I've got a few more takes. Yeah. I'm not in the room.
Exactly.
I can just take my time.
And the funny thing is, I said to my brother Jack, he hadn't read the lines yet. I was like, I'm just going to record our rehearsal in case it's good, blah, blah, blah. And it was the rehearsal one.
That's hilarious.
I'd practiced the lines. He hadn't yet, but it worked because it was the first time he was reading the lines and the first time I was saying them with him. Yeah. That's where the
really flowed naturally,
realistic
just a couple of brothers chatting to each other.
Yeah, genuine nature comes from. And that was really cool. And
That's good.
Yeah, so
it's good when that happens.
It is awesome.
Unless you've done like 30 takes thinking you haven't got it, and then it's the first one. But anyway.
A lot of that happens. I guess that could happen in big budget stuff, the first one they ends up using. And also talking about, I had another audition for a musical called Dogfight.
Right.
Dogfight the musical. I was in that
Is it like the opposite
year.
of Cats? With dogs?
I mean, no.
Oh, okay.
But have you heard they're making a Cats movie? They've made a Cats movie.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I saw a preview.
Jason
It kind of looked a bit
Derulo's
creepy.
in it
The cats look a bit... Okay.
It's
I guess
so
it depends if you're a cat person, but I do like cats, but the cats look a bit creepy. Like something out of a Stephen King movie.
It is. It's by Stephen King.
Is it?
No.
Oh. You can tell I'm all over musicals.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. No, it's not. It's about
Pet Sematary, the musical.
Yeah, Pet Oh my God. I haven't seen that. Is that have you seen
It's
that?
pretty cool, yeah. But I remember the original too. The original's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Just
it was a remake.
Evil. I think they used 3 cats. One always, because it had resting bitch face.
Yeah.
So that was the evil cat. And they just matted up its hair. One that loved to be cuddled, and one that was just worked well with actions.
Okay.
Took direction quite well.
That's...
Takes 3 cats to make a good actor, so that gives me some comfort.
There we go. Yeah, Dogfight. It's about a bunch of Marines in I forgot the year, whatever, 19.
What sort of war is it?
It's the Vietnam War, so
60s, 70s.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive then. I'm just
Yeah. No, it's all right. They go to San Francisco, have one more night of camaraderie, sort of thing, and they call it the Dogfight, but it's the person. They're trying to bring the ugliest girl to the bar, and that's the person who wins.
Sounds romantic.
But it's an actual thing that soldiers do, and they still do it today, and it's awful.
So it's
really bad. But it's a musical.
I wouldn't say that. Oh my God! I feel once I'm speechless.
It's a great musical. No, it is a great musical. The music's awesome.
I can imagine the duets. Do they involve fist fights?
Oh, the duets. The duets are great, actually. Like, so I had the lead in it last year.
Okay.
At UNSW.
Okay.
And it was really good. The music was great. That's actually where I met Jess.
Good story.
Yeah. I mean, it's
You
a
were
long
both in the
story.
musical?
We'll need a whole podcast for that story.
Yeah.
She was music director.
Oh.
It wasn't
okay.
that sort of thing.
Did you
It
get
was
some
afterwards.
special treatment? Did you in the musical?
No, it was after that. Oh, God.
Professionalism.
Yeah. But, yeah. I forgot what was I saying.
That threw you off.
It was...
So, Dogfight.
Yeah. It was
You had the lead
great.
last year. You're going for it again.
Yeah, going for it. It's written by the music's written by Pasek and Paul, who have done Dear Evan Hansen and The Greatest Showman and.
Oh, I
Lyrics
know
a
The
lot.
Greatest Showman
Yeah.
with
So,
Hugh
amazing
Jackman.
music.
Yep.
Anyway, we both decided to audition again for
Look
the
at this.
UTS one.
You guys keep auditioning together. You're like, I can
It's
just
great.
imagine it now. Oh, I've got this new musical. Oh, what's it like? And the next thing you know, you both turn up at the auditions and you're competing for
We
spots.
go
and-
there together, don't worry. No, so Jess had always wanted to be in it as well. Okay. Like she loved being musical director and then
Yep.
loved it so much and wanted to be a part of it. And she just got the lead. She got Rose, the female lead. I didn't get my lead role again, but I got the part of Boland, which is the dickhead best friend. So that makes more sense.
More
obviously.
natural for you.
Yeah, they were like, I loved your anger in the audition. It's
Less
like
acting involved in that one.
yeah, they were like, we love your anger. We love the anger you brought to the character in the audition. It's like I wasn't angry. That was before I started the scene. No. It was good. And they want me for understudy of Eddie, so that's really cool.
Okay.
But here's the thing, because we had a bunch of auditions this week, and we had an audition for The Last 5 Years, which is another musical.
Yep.
In Wollongong.
So
I think
many
I told you
musicals
about
at the
that one.
moment. Good lord.
Yeah, I know. It's the time of year.
I need to learn how to sing. I can do that on the weekend. I'll watch some YouTube.
Yeah, practice that.
Yeah.
2 days.
Sorted.
You'll have it down.
Yep.
Down pat. Anyway, we have callbacks. We both got callbacks for The Last 5 years. Only 2 roles in this musical. So that's amazing achievement. We're like, our talent. Anyway.
You can keep each other company as you travel to Wollongong.
Exactly. But now the callback's overlapping the read-through for Dogfight and blah, blah, blah. We're trying to organise new times. And it's
busy actors.
Really annoying.
It's good to be busy.
But exactly.
In
it's
a productive
good to be busy.
way,
And
when it's productive, not stressful.
exactly. And we were talking about it and we were like, we'd be happy to do Monday night Dogfight, Tuesday night Last 5 years, Wednesday night Dogfight, Thursday night Last 5 years. And have a whole week full of rehearsal of 2 different musicals, travelling, be tired by Friday. But if we're doing what we both love, that's
exactly.
busy doing what you love is a different sort of busy.
It's a
like
dream,
you said.
and it's all experience.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
positive. Well, I've got an update for you, Nikki Barrett. I had the Q&A last week with the MEAA because we were on a bit of a roll last week about just, you know what, you want to be an actor, get out there. And there's so much available that's free, and even in small town Sydney, and for the price of a movie ticket, some great experiences. But this was a hookup through Zoom for about 50 of us, organised by the MEAA, the union here in Australia, to talk to Nikki Barrett, ask some questions. Great casting director. Look, I could go on forever, but and as you know, I really can. A couple of key tips she said that really resonated. Some of the basics, the fundamental stuff that people still muck up. Be all over your material. Be absolutely on top of it.
This is for auditions.
Absolutely. When you're in the room, when you're doing a self-tape, just be absolutely 100% all over it. So that it's easy, I think, I find it easier to take direction when you know you are all over it.
You're not kind of back to front as much as you can.
Yeah. And to go even deeper, look at the series. If it's a TV series, if it's a movie or something, look what other work has the director done, and then you sort of got an idea then of how to play it in the room. Is it adapted from a book or a play? Go deep, have a look at all that sort of stuff. Okay. The more you know about that world, the easier it is for you to sort of immerse yourself in that world.
Sure.
And be really aware of the scene you've got. Like there was an example she used. Don't just stand there yelling at the camera and projecting your voice when it's an intimate scene, or it's really not written. It's written as you're in a cafe talking about some personal details. You're not going to yell that out, are you?
No.
You're just going to be sort of, be aware of what you're doing.
That's hard for theatre actors as well to try and learn. You have to try and, I don't know, switch between when you're doing a theatre audition. That's very different to doing a screen audition.
I imagine so.
Have that balance. Yeah, I've had quite a few comments in my days.
In your days over the years.
Over my years of acting.
Months and months.
I've had like, this isn't theatre, you can lower your voice sort of thing. Or I've actually had the opposite. I was doing...
Hello!
Yeah.
I'm here to audition for...
It's like, chill
something
down, bro.
creepy.
No, I was in Into the Woods and the guy's like, more. This isn't film. So I've had it both ways. I'm
It's
like,
funny, isn't it?
that was early days when trying to figure out the
Yeah.
difference, and I was still trying to merge into the screen.
Yep.
Into the screen.
Into the screen, literally.
Merge into the
Morphing.
screen. Yeah. Anyway.
So it was really interesting. It was great
Yeah.
to every now and then just get a reset on what they're looking at the moment.
Yeah, no, definitely.
all the people they see, and just lastly, things like use all the time you've got in the room, use it all. Don't come in character and start treating everyone abusively or something, because it just makes you look pretty unprofessional. Have the confidence to say, look, can the reader stand up and while I read and do blah blah blah, or can I do this scene before this scene, or if there's a couple, you might have 15-20 minutes.
Definitely.
Don't feel like you just got to stand there and take it. You can sort of have some sort of control to bring out the best performance, which is what they all want.
Well, they respect if you're like, for example, for a musical theatre audition, like, oh, can we just speed the piano up a little bit? Or they...
and can I have a heater and a nice tea?
Yeah. Exactly. I've actually had thoughts like, what if you walk into an audition, not as the character, but if it's for an American role, go in with an American accent and see if they actually can tell that you're putting it on.
Yeah.
Or would that help? Or
well, the thing is, when it comes to casting because now with technology you can be anywhere, which is great. Yeah, one thing she said was be absolutely flawless with your accent. Absolutely flawless. There's no, that perfect for the role, but we can work with him on the accent.
Yeah.
There's none of that. They just want to see you and drop you straight into that world that they've created.
Okay.
So absolutely be 100% on your accent. And that's another refresher for me too, because having had lessons on standard American, for example, well, great, but that's only half the job. You've got to keep current.
Practicing.
Absolutely.
But would you go in...
That's something you'd feel closer to. You've got to keep practicing your voice as a singer. Otherwise, you have problems. So it's the same thing.
Would you go in doing that accent already, though?
I wouldn't. I mean, I'm me. I'm the
true.
guy you're going to get on set, and I'm a team player, and I'm friendly, and g'day, how are you? And I guess it's more of a contrast
G'day, how are
when
you?
you do drop into character, and it helps them to see how far from you
true.
that is, perhaps.
Yeah.
But look, at the end of the day, I'm me, and that's who you're going to get until we get into character and switch on and that.
They do want to see what you bring to the role, so they need to see you, I guess, in that.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah.
There's a trigger line that Hugh Jackman has, apparently, to get him into his American accent.
All right.
Would you like to hear it?
Go on.
I think it's, how many times have you asked Sam whether or not his daughter's learning disorder was caused by a genetic abnormality?
Jeez, just a little line there.
Yeah, just a little line. It's easy. No, because apparently it includes all the vowels, vowel sounds and consonants and vowel movements and changes and blah, blah, blah. And obviously, you're not going to be like, I've never done an American accent before, do that line. It's like, wow, look, I'm an American.
Yep.
You have to have the technique right and do all that. And then that just gets you into it.
Yeah. Because I've had a few moments where I've learnt the script and you absolutely know the character and the place in that scene and American accent, no worries. And then director said, you know what, that doesn't sound actually right. That doesn't sound like something the character would say.
Yeah.
Can we change? What do you think the character would say? And then we'd have a bit of a conversation and then, everything would change. So you can't just be, oh, well, I'm great when it comes to the words that are written on the page.
Yeah,
You've got to be able to be flexible. Otherwise, you could be in some difficult situations there.
Exactly. I did like you said you did. I did a standard American accent kind of couple of classes, lessons, private one-on-one with Danielle Roth. She's a great voice coach, and here in Australia, she's done a lot of big films and stuff. And I could feel the difference when she said this. She said, you can't just try and mimic the American accent. You got to find your American accent, because everyone's American is different, because their voice is different, their tone is different, their experiences are different, blah, blah, blah. It's like confident in your own skin, confident in your own American accent.
And that can be hard for actors, because absolutely every actor looks confident, but under the shell. And I think also it goes back to any actor playing a character. It's like, don't play a criminal, don't play a cop. Yeah. Play the person whose life choices or whatever his journey's ended up as a criminal. Yeah. Don't play an American. Play the character that, you're bringing that character to life in a certain way. Yeah, definitely. And the accent's a part of that, and it could change. Definitely. The other thing was standard American's really big, and even in the States, some American actors, American-born actors are being brought and they're being brought back into ADR to be able to do it in standard. The other thing too is when you try and don't do like a Brooklyn New York. Don't do like American South or something. And this is really required for this particular, and they specifically asked for it because with that comes so many local
differences and dialects and stuff,
exactly. And bits and pieces that that if you're not born in Brooklyn,
you know, I'm walking.
It's going to be it's going to be really, really tough to try and do. In comes a whole lot of rehearsals and coaching and all the rest of it that you probably wouldn't have time for an audition. Yeah. So stick to what you know is going to land.
Well, what I only discovered recently was Johnny Depp generally puts on a standard American accent because he's the reason. If you've listened to interviews with him, the reason he has such a cool voice and interesting tone because I think it was either his mum or his dad was English and his mum or dad, well, the other one was American, blah, blah. Yep. So he has a mix between American and English.
Bit of a hybrid.
Yeah, and it's kind of got that cool, like, rounded vowels, but still emphasized R's and all that stuff. Yeah. And I was watching him in a movie the other day, Mordecai. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny, but he's so English. Yes, he puts on such an English accent. Okay. It's ridiculous. What is he like? I don't even want to do like a quote, but it's like, hello. It's like,
put yourself on the spot.
Darling, Jesus Christ, darling. Oh, you know, I have a sympathetic gag reflex. Like all this stuff, like full on stupid sounds over the top, but it works so well.
Suited the character.
Yeah. Cut that
That's
out,
pretty
please.
Cool. That's pretty cool, but it's important. And when it comes to singing, like how hard is it to like? Obviously, you've got to stay in accent
to do it in accent.
Yeah.
Is
that a different approach to acting?
Generally, so I watched a musical recently. Jess and I, no, not Jess and I. Sorry, my mum and brother. We went to see a musical called Once. Jess wasn't invited. No, she'd love to see it. But it once, and it was set in Dublin, and their accents were awesome. But when they're singing, the accent kind of fades. Right. But that's okay because lots of people don't sing in their accent. Like ABBA isn't. Mm-hmm. Like ABBA's, what are they? They're Swedish. Mm-hmm.
But what about if you're not singing your own material? Like if you're in a play and it's set in America in the 50s, and do you have to sing
exactly
in an American accent?
100% you have to sing in an American accent. Yeah, you have to learn where to put the R's, but still make it sound pretty, you know, that sort of stuff. I'm in a musical, everyone's probably heard on this podcast, 3 weeks in spring. We've started doing runs. It's on in about 3 weeks. Wow. Very exciting.
Precious building.
Yeah, but the lead, Simpson, John Simpson, Private John Simpson, played by Lincoln Elliott, he has learned a Geordie accent. Right. And so he sings that. Yeah. He sings using that accent. Right. Because it's a completely sung through musical. So he uses that accent when he sings, and it's really quite cool. Because it's got, I don't know, it's really cool.
It's good. I couldn't imagine singing full stop successfully with my voice, let alone trying to sing in another accent.
Well, I think you got to try next week in our musical theatre special podcast. Everyone listening on that.
We are doing that next week, but no, I will not be singing, and I'm quite comfortable with that. As I'm sure everyone else would be too if they heard me. I guess for accents, like it's just one thing. Another thing I can muck up, so I'm really conscious of that. And like even before my last gig as an actor, where I had to play an American, the night before I did, because I had lessons with Paige Walker, and we just Skyped the night before for an hour, just to absolutely. I'd send her the script, and you know by the time we got together, we were all kind of straight into it. Highlighted some sort of areas where I felt like I was dropping a bit. And what was interesting is some of those areas I thought I was dropping a bit, I wasn't at all. Mm-hmm. It's just my mind playing games with myself. And other areas, sure. And there were certain words and phrases, like you were saying, that would help Hugh Jackman get into a standard American accent to help me warm up before I was called on set so that I could absolutely be more confident at nailing that. But yeah, it's funny how your mind plays tricks on you, at least mine anyway.
Yeah, 100%. Can I play that little track that I played last time when I spoke about the Geordie accent?
Go on.
Do you want me to like shove that in and then you can cut it in?
Go on.
Because I thought it gives it some
How many copyright rules are we breaching? Do I have to pay someone?
No, look, it's on Apple Music. It's awesome. Yeah, so shout out to Lincoln Elliott who plays Private John Simpson.
This is his song, is it?
In 3 Weeks in Spring. This is one of his songs. He's the lead. So this is the Geordie accent kind of in a song. Can you do me a favor? I need a small helping hand. Ooh, you'll be a savior. You'll be famous and won't that be grand?
Okay.
Sophie, I think I'll call you.
It's funny how some
So it's got that-
words and phrases are more noticeable than others, but that's pretty cool.
Who knows if his accent's accurate? No,
Well-
it is. It definitely is. He's very talented.
It's a lot better than my attempt.
Yeah, I think Private John Simpson's from Newcastle, I think he is.
Right.
So it's got that,
Okay.
I think, slightly more subtle. But he's good. He's good at it, and it's really cool. So that's it in music, and sometimes it's hard to understand like what he's saying at times.
Right.
But no, I mean, like, I know it now.
Yeah.
But I had to learn that Geordie accent because I was asked to be understudy for Simpson.
Right.
That fell through, totally understand. It actually took a lot of pressure off me because we were
were
9 weeks
focusing
out
so
and I
much
didn't learn
on that.
anything. Yeah. But I did a
yeah.
lot of work at home on it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun doing the Geordie accent. Now I have that
Okay.
under my belt, I guess.
So if you're doing a musical and you're required to do it in a certain accent, you approach rehearsals in that accent,
Oh,
and
you
you're
should.
always consistently in that accent.
Oh,
Just
100%.
like if you're doing a play.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
well, in a play, you should definitely do that as well. Because I mean, the first time you do the accent shouldn't be when you get on stage in performance. Because
No.
that would not work. Yeah. I mean, first few rehearsals, read through. If you don't know how to do the accent, obviously you're just going to read through it. But then you learn, you practice, you get into it. And once you get used to it, you get used to it. And like you said, not just getting used to it with the words on the page,
Yeah, bring
but
it to life.
knowing the accent back to front in case something goes wrong, in case you need to ad lib, improvise.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's good.
break character.
I've got an update for you on
yes.
Bob. As we know, or certainly those of you who've been listening to our journey, the poor Bob, Mr. Fish, passed away. I was racked with guilt for at least, I don't know, 20 minutes. But I went to the store. I was explaining to them because I thought, like, what did I do wrong? I cooked him. I had the heater on. Oh, no, there was a few fish that were sick that were sent to the store. So they're busy with no fish, cleaning out all the filters and everything, ready for. So that took the pressure off.
So you actually helped him.
Poor Bob.
You
But
helped Bob.
Yeah, I nursed him to because
Well,
he only lasted
You
3
cooked him
days.
and it helped.
Well,
because
whatever
he was
I did,
in
well, the heater
agonizing
was
pain.
No, it was a comfortable passing.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Don't start crying.
Boy,
Don't start
that
crying after
that
podcast.
that update wasn't going anywhere near as well as I thought it would be in my head. But So Bob 2.0 will be coming soon. When then a fresh batch of 100% well fish arrive. It's a bit. Oh god,
That's
Bob's still
awful.
there.
Are they giving you a refund
They can if I can find the receipt. That's another
for a fish?
story. Correct.
I think we should do a quick shout out to Kate Mulvaney, who listened to
Oh,
our
yes.
podcast. Hell yeah. Thanks to you. You kindly messaged her.
Champion.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew she'd remember us
Yeah.
absolutely vividly from those key moments
Oh, 100%.
that made those 2 productions, Fighting Season and Every Brilliant Thing, what it was, you know,
yeah.
without our contribution. So clearly,
Yeah.
vivid recollection of
Exactly.
just waiting for us to reach out to her. I saw the first 2 episodes of Lambs of God again for the second time because my cousin who works in the arts, she came over and because she doesn't have Foxtel, so
Yeah.
I downloaded them. All 4 are available, but I'm holding back to watch the next 2 until we catch up again, which is hard because I really want to know what happens. But it's funny, like the first time, especially watching a television show on the big screen in a cinema, and it really was back-to-back episodes at that actor special event. And you're immersed, you're drawn into that world, and I was fully into it. The second time watching it from the comfort of the couch, it's funny how you watch things with a technical and an acting sort of perspective.
Yeah.
When you sort of step back from the story just slightly. That was really interesting, but still absolutely enjoyed it even the second time. Full on, but yeah, what a ride. I can't wait for the next 2. I did promise I'm not going to. I said it has to be soon though, because I don't know how long I can hold out.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy who's pretending. Oh, look, that surprised Max at that happening. It's, oh no, yeah, haven't seen it before, sort of. I'm not that good an actor. I can't.
You were mentioned in Jess's essay she wrote last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, we were, our
What, in a
podcast,
good
and then
way?
your name. Oh, of course not. Of course not. What are you talking about? No,
She's
she was.
obviously going to get an A.
Yeah, of course.
A+
Of
from
course.
me anyway.
She
And I know
was-
that's what really matters to her. Jess, A+.
Yeah. Well, she was writing about Puffs.
God.
That play. Yeah, we're not going to bring that up anymore. This is the last time.
I knew it wasn't going to be a good reason.
Because we talked about it in the podcast.
Yes.
She was talking about how publicity affects blah blah blah, and then she used
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
quoted you.
Wow, brilliant.
Do you feel honoured?
I do actually. I
That
feel
a
really special.
UNSW professor's just going to read
I
that.
feel
and
really
be like,
special and go, this man is amazing. Let's get him in and lecture these students and show them what's what.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But Like I said in my little Facebook update, follow us on social media. We haven't got 1 million listeners yet, but we're starting off with the right ones.
We have 1 million listeners?
No, we haven't. Not yet, but we're starting off. I know I come from a sales background. I tend to round up a bit, but yeah. No.
But you're right. We got the right ones. That's
building the foundations of future success.
Yeah,
oh my God. I sound like I'm back in corporate.
Oh, go on.
Forget I said that. This week coming up, well, I've got to get ahead of myself for this casting, this audition this afternoon. Another actor special event on Monday night, this time for The Nightingale, which has had some mixed reviews, and at some festivals people have walked out. It's quite confronting at the start, but that's happening on Monday night, so I'm keen to find out a bit more about that. Before I say anything too much, I'd like to actually see it. What am I doing Tuesday? Lessons on social media from some social media guru. I'm actually paying to see him, like old school, like going actually seeing someone speak rather than tidbits on social media. But he's very much turning into like a motivational speaker. Tony Robbins, you can buy platinum seats and platinum plus diamond and get front row and a hug and a photo or something, other stuff. It's like, God, anyway. But so I'll obviously wait to see how amazing our social media becomes. To Unemployed actors after Tuesday next week.
Oh, yeah.
Something else. The premiere of Palm Beach, an Australian movie.
Okay.
Sam Neill, Brian Brown, his wife, Rachel Ward. Oh, my God, I nearly forgot. Rachel Ward, who is the director. Great Aussie cast. And they're going to be there for a bit of a Q&A afterwards. So I'll take notes for everyone. Good old Cremorne Orpheum rises again.
Next week, we've got our musical theatre special. We've got 2 special guests coming along. You'll hear about who they are next week.
Talking about musicals, which I know nothing about. So I'll be asking...
Just sit back and relax.
That's like not entirely the opposite. I will be that guy asking all those questions that people are normally too scared to ask about because they don't know anything about musical theatre.
Yeah. No, do that. Yeah, jot it down.
Because I look like an idiot normally, so it's no different to me to look like an idiot on a podcast.
Start jotting down a list.
Exactly. And then we can find out more about what's happening in the world and what's happened in the world of musical theatre. Thanks very much for listening to us this week on 2 Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we'll be back next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
2 unemployed actors.